Everybody wants to make money. And some of us do not even know you can use AI to make money. So once again, you are welcome to Artificial Intelligence class. Always said that artificial intelligence is all about machine thinking for you. I explained in one of our classes how back in the days before AI, where we measure intelligence and smartness by IQ. IQ is called intelligent quotient. So what that means is that there is a metric for measuring IQ back in the days. So in fact, they can put you on an exam to measure your IQ, and then they will tell you your IQ rating, and they will say, oh, a very smart guy in class, they say he has a high IQ, and an average student that is struggling, they will say he has a low IQ. Now, what that means is that that smart student, and I used to say it, a human being is a product of anybody, whether smart or dull, is a product of these two: nature and nurture. You see a brilliant student, sharp, intelligent, is a product of these two. And you see a dull student is a product of these two. But the rate at which these two happen to us is by chance, based on how you were brought up, family you were born into, country you were born into. And I'll explain. What do you mean by nature? Nature means conditions that you have little or zero influence over. Example, family you were born into. Who is it that chose the family he or she is born into? Maybe some of us, if you have the opportunity, you even choose a family in Kenya or Nigeria. Maybe you choose one family in Israel or UK or United States. We don't have that opportunity to make that choice. It's nature. Some of us, while we're growing up, we don't have the opportunity to choose. I want the best international school where they will teach me things that when I come out of that school, I will have a solid educational foundation. I will be very smart and sharp. Some of us just went to the available school that our parents were able to put us into. We had zero or little influence around it. This is nature. Some people were born with some little gene of smartness. Maybe in their generation, maybe some people have paid the price, who have worked hard at being smart, who have learned a lot of things, and somehow, the way God so designed life, things are being passed down from one generation to the other. That guy had no control over it. It came as a follow come package, nature. However, this is not the game changer. We now kept telling people that don't blame what you don't have control over as the reason why you are having a setback or you are not making progress as you are supposed to, especially when you reach a certain age. The certain age you get to, you have to switch to nurture. What is nurture? Ability for you to now determine and write your own story. You have left the phase where it was nature. Things were decided for you without consulting you, whether you like it or not. They were things that came with you and you grew into them and you had no little or zero control. But a time will come in a man's life where you begin to take ownership. And then that will now say, okay, well, I was growing up, my parents didn't give me this kind of education, but now that I know that I needed it, I'm going for it. It's going to take sacrifice, it's going to take money, it's going to take energy, it's going to take whatever it is, but because I feel I want this, and this is the area many people are failing. And every time they blame nature for their current state, forgetting the fact that a time comes when you begin to have what? Control. And you can rewrite whatever missing link in this when you switch to this. So why am I saying this? I'm coming back here. Artificial intelligence, intelligence what? Quotient. So when you see a smart guy in class who had a very good, sufficient nature in terms of born into a privileged family in a well-organized system or country with a good amount of starter education, very high, and then happens to have a parent and an environment, that that gives it a right perspective to life. They turn out to be very smart, right? And then we said they have a high level of what? IQ, intelligent quotient. Now, let me now tell you what artificial intelligence has come to do. It has come as a leveler. As a what? A leveler. A leveler means that this guy, who was very fortunate, nature was so kind to him, brought up by a good parent, sent to the best of schools, grew up in the best first world country, then grew up in an environment of love, parental love, societal love. He was exposed to all manner of things that makes for the development of the mind, and turned out to be very smart. And we have his counterpart, who was unfortunate all of this, and turned out to have a low IQ. We are not saying in this era now, artificial intelligence has come as a leveler. You begin to see this other guy with low IQ begin to do the same thing that this guy had always been doing. But he is now operating by the help of a knowledge called what? Artificial intelligence. Example. So this guy who have gone to a high standard British school, born America, so then he got employed in a company. And this other guy who grew up in Bambolulu and who was not privileged to go to private school, went to public school, and then didn't have parental love, just struggled on the street and managed to school himself, and everything. His English is not well polished. Two of them are now employed in the same company. So this is what will happen. What artificial intelligence will do, you will never even be able to differentiate the difference between two of them. Example. So one of the meeting days, they had this smart guy to take the minutes of the meeting. Then he's well read, he's well schooled. He did a very nice minute of the meeting, wrote it after presentation, and then he submitted the document to the boss. They say, "Oh, this is nice, well captured. Thank you. You really well. You have a good education." Another time they assigned this other guy who knows he doesn't have the right, but the guy understands artificial intelligence. Then he took his phone and he used Krebs or Otter AI or Nota AI or any of the available AI tools to capture the meeting. After that, based on what we learned in the last class, he took the output to chat what? GPT. Bring this out for me as a professional minute. Then he sent it to his boss. Excuse me. Will the boss know any difference? No. But him, he knew. If it's by his own power, he is not close to producing that kind of a professional what? Document. But the leverage that make him become almost at par with his counterpart who was privileged was artificial. So that's why I keep saying artificial intelligence has come to operate as your personal assistant. So if there are tasks you are doing, that's why one of today I'll be asking questions. What are your tasks? And I can show you how artificial intelligence is going to help you to simplify what? Your work and help you become more productive at what you do. Is that clear as a background for artificial intelligence? So artificial intelligence has come to help us in different areas. So that's why when you are typing on your phone, there is something called spelling error detector. It knows that maybe your English, sometimes you forget some spellings or this or that. Then he put it in red. And then you click on it to give you the right spelling. And you say, okay. And when you send the text, nobody will have known that while you were typing, there were certain words you couldn't spell right. They only see the final output, which is a well-spelled message. That is AI working for you. Those things have been there over the years. But we are not saying a time has come for AI to be more pronounced, to be more used beyond the unconscious level where we just grow into using them without even understanding what we are using. Now we have to be intentional about the usage of artificial intelligence. So the very first thing I want us to learn this afternoon is how to use AI, and I'll be mentioning the specific tools that I'll be using, okay, to be able to help your career or your business. I'll give you an example.